So in today's class, we will be learning how to represent root 7 on the number line. So before going to root 7, let's recall what we saw in the last class, that is part 2. See, before representing root 7 on the number line, first we have to represent root 2 on the number line, and then with the help of this root 2, we have to again represent root 3 on the number line. All these things have been given in detail in the last class. Okay, part 2 of this series. So now we are going to see how to represent root 7 on the number line. So once you have represented root 3 on the number line, what you have to do is, taking base as root 3 and the vertical position as 2 units. Since I have taken 2 centimeters as 1 unit, here this will be 4 centimeters, isn't it? See, 1 unit here I have taken as 2 centimeters. People can do it with 1 centimeter also. This is unit, okay, not centimeter. So 1 unit, 2 unit, and from root 3 I am taking the vertical position 2 units. For clarity, I have taken 2 centimeters as 1 unit, therefore this equals 4 centimeters. Okay, you people can take it as 1 centimeter and this will be equal to 2 centimeters. So with root 3 as the base and 2 centimeters as the vertical altitude, and you can draw the hypotenuse. So what will you get about according to Pythagoras theorem? Base square plus altitude square will be equal to hypotenuse square, isn't it? That means OA square will be equal to root 3 square is 3 and 2 square is 4. So OA square is equal to 7 and OA will be equal to square root of 7. So here, while taking root 3 as the base, so according to Pythagoras theorem, root 3 square is 3 and 2 square is 4, and thus you will be getting root 7. This is the way to represent root 7 on the number line. Hope you are clear with this. And next, let's go to exercise 1.2 of this chapter. Okay, the first question states, the true or false statements are being asked. So the following statements, true or false, justify answer. Every rational number is a real number. What do you think about it? Every rational number is of course a real number. I have already stated that a real number is a set of both rational and irrational numbers. It includes everything. Therefore, a real numbers includes irrational numbers too. Hence, this is true. Every point on the number line is of the form root m, where m is a natural number. Do you think so? Every point on number line is of the form root m? No, not at all. You have seen negative numbers, integers are all real numbers and on number line, but not the square root of any natural number, isn't it? So the second answer is false, and justification is here. You can see the justification here. See, negative 1, negative 2 are all real numbers on number line. I told you both rational and irrational include real numbers. That means integers also comes under real numbers. Therefore, we can say that all these are real numbers and they are not obviously the square root of any natural number. Therefore, the second statement is false. Answer is false. The third question is, every real number is an irrational number. Every real number is an irrational number. So, again, every real number is not at all an irrational number. That's also false. All rational numbers which are real numbers but not the irrational numbers. You've got the answers of all these questions. The second question is, are the square roots of all positive integers irrationals? Are the square roots of all positive integers irrationals? If no, give an example of the square root of number that is a rational number. See, no, square roots of all positive integers are not at all irrational, because you can see that 4, there are square numbers also, perfect square numbers also, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36 and goes on, the perfect square numbers, and you get this perfect square roots also, isn't it? Square root of these square numbers. So root 4 is 2. These are all rational numbers. So the answer is given here. No, square roots of all positive integers are not at all irrational. And show how root 5 can be represented on the number line. I have given you the detail in the last class, part 2 of this chapter. You can go back to that episode. Okay. Next is, let's go to exercise 1.3 And 1.3 is all about simple division, which you have learned in your earlier classes. You'll be given some fractions and you'll be asked to find out the decimal expansions. So this is the first question. Write the following in decimal form and say what kind of decimal expansion each has. See, 36 is by 100. You know that any number by 100 or 1000, you can get it as perfect terminating decimal numbers, isn't it? Just put, since there are 2 zeros in the denominator, 2 places before this decimal point will be here. Therefore 0.36, this is terminating decimal number, isn't it? And the other answers are given here in detail. Just have a look at these. The first one answer is here, 1 by 11. Yeah, you're just going on doing a simple division, and I hope you all know how to do simple division. And you're going to check the answers, and you're going to state which kind of decimal number expansion is this. Sometimes we get non-terminating repeating. See, this is non-terminating, repeating, it goes on, means non-terminating. It's not terminating, it does not stop here. And it is repeating, the same pattern is getting repeated. 4 1 by 8, the answer is here. So this is also terminating here. 3 by 13, sometimes the decimal expansions may be so lengthy that you may first find out that this is, what is this? This is non-terminating as well as non-repeating. But the fact is, after a certain point, you may get it as repeating here. See, 230769. Again, this is getting repeated here, 230769. So you're going to put a bar on all these 6 digits. Okay. Here you have the solution for this question also. Next question is 2 by 11. So you can have the answers here. All these have given you for a quick look at the answers here. You can work it out, and you have to work it out and you have to practice. Please don't copy as it is, just work it out, otherwise you will not be able to do well in the exam. The next is, you are going 1.3. 1 by 7 is equal to 0.142857. Can you predict the expansion of 2 by 7, 3 by 7, 4 by 7, 5 by 7, 6 by 7? So it is given the answer as, you have given the value of 1 by 7 as 0.142857. Therefore, what will be 2 by 7? See, 2 into 1 by 7 is 2 by 7. And you have got the value of 1 by 7 as this one. So 2 into this value gives you the answer of 2 by 7. Hope you have understood this. Similarly, 3 by 7 is 0.